Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. We have some news here on a Friday as Kansas City has signed two players in NFL free agency. We'll kind of go one at a time here. Let's start with the re-signing. Ian Rappaport had the report that the Chiefs are re-signing tight end Blake Bell to a one-year contract. This is his fourth season in Kansas City, fourth out of the past 5 years. Did have a one-year stopgap in Dallas, but he signs again with Kansas City. I would assume, as money details here are to be determined, this is almost certainly a veteran minimum contract, I would say. Blake Bell, a few years ago, played a bigger role on this team, but last year, dealing with the injuries, he kind of fell in the pecking order. But that I like the re-signing, and I expect it to be cheap. He's a guy that fits in culturally, so I think all those things matter and are very important. Grade the Blake Bell signing. You glad to have him back in the fold? How about B for Blake Bell, the Belldozer? A, B, C, D, or F? I'll drop a B. It's going to be cheap. He knows his role. I think it is kind of an easy one here for Brett Veach as he comes back into the fold for 2023. Now, you look at his past 4 years, 3 of the 4 of which are with the Chiefs. Obviously, last year played in just the 3 games, had the hip issue, but, he's not a guy that fills up the stat sheet, right? He's kind of someone who knows his role. He is a guy who blocks. He does that occasional Belldozer QB sneak where they bring the tight end in motion on 3rd or 4th and short. He takes the snap from under center and drives forward. He's got that versatility. So, mostly a blocker, doesn't play a ton of snaps, but has depth, has some versatility, knows the offense. So all those things make a lot of sense. Now, he did have that hip injury last year in training camp, which I thought was going to keep him out the entire season, but he was able to get back in December, played in 3 games, but was not active for the Super Bowl. He was kind of that 4th tight end on this offense. So I think that's kind of where he plugs in right now, quite frankly. I mean, this tight end room is pretty deep. You've got Travis Kelce, obviously, in my opinion, the greatest receiving tight end of all time, who's not slowing down, at least not yet. Noah Gray, who's been a solid tight end too. Jody Fortson, who's been a good weapon for you and has emerged the last couple of years. Blake Bell, I think tight end 4. Matt Bushman on a futures deal. We'll see where he factors in. But I think when it comes to Blake Bell, my take on the signing is he'll probably have to fight for a roster spot. The Chiefs have kept 4 tight ends quite a bit, so I think for now he would be safe. He's a good culture player that knows his role, so I think he would be in line to make the roster. But this is also a really good tight end draft. If they find someone in the draft that they like, do not be surprised if Blake Bell did not make the 53-man roster when it's all said and done. But for now, he's back on a one-year deal. He knows his role. I think it makes sense for both parties. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We cover every single Chiefs signing. And hey, look at that. We're 77 subscribers away from 41,000 here on the channel. Can we get to 41,000 before the weekend hits? And we'll say the weekend starts on Saturday. I know for a lot of us it starts on Friday. But can we get there? Can you guys deliver videos every single day? Let's get to 41,000 and keep this train rolling. All right, coming up here in just a moment, the Chiefs have signed another free agent. This one is an external player that they have added to the mix. We'll break that down here in just a moment. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Fume, for sponsoring today's show. We all have bad habits, and we certainly know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from those bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I'll be honest, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I got it, but the minty sensation is really powerful and really hits the back of the throat. I like their different flavors, and the Journey Pack comes with 3 different flavors for you guys to enjoy: maple pepper, crisp mint, and the white cranberry. I'm a big fan of all of those. Now, I do want to make it clear, Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to help you do that. So head to tryfume.com/chatsports. That's tryfum.com/chatsports, and use code ChatSports to get 10% off at checkout. Check it out today. The device is very easy to hold and to use, and it comes in this nice little box here, so if you want to carry it around if you're traveling, very easy for that to happen. The different flavors, like I mentioned, are available in the Journey Pack, so go get started today. Tryfum.com. It's tryfum.com. Use code ChatSports, tryfum.com/chatsports, code ChatSports. All right, let's get to the other signing here. JL Sports, which is a agency. They are have clientele of Byron Cowart, and they have announced that he has signed a one-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Field Yates and other reporters confirmed that. One-year deal, as he actually spent last year with the Colts, but a couple years before that were with the New England Patriots. You look at his career numbers here. He's a defensive lineman, by the way, defensive tackle. Hasn't played a ton, right? 2021 did not play, had some injury problems, but 2022 had 12 tackles. Is kind of a light rotation guy for the Colts. 2020 was certainly his best year, 27 tackles, had a sack, 4 TFLs as well. I think you plug him in here. He's a rotation guy that, hopefully can give you some snaps if he does end up making this football team. You lost Colin Saunders. You lost Frank Clark, obviously, so getting some depth back on this defensive line can make some sense. We don't know if, a guy like Brandon Williams is, potentially someone who would return, or Danny Shelton, who spent most of the year on the practice squad, but Cowart gets signed as well. And kind of similar ilk to Blake Bell, right? Like, he's a depth signing. He'll have to, fight for a 53-man roster spot. It's not going to be given to Cowart here. I think he's someone who's going to have to prove he's worthy of making this team. So one-year deal. He's in for the offseason. We'll see if he makes the roster come roster cutdown time in September. Have you ever heard of Byron Cowart? Be honest with me. I'd heard the name before, but I hadn't really monitored his career up to this point, so I kind of had to do some research and see what he'd been doing. Like I said, rotation guy. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let me know if you have ever heard of Byron Cowart. So let's get you caught up on everything that has happened in free agency up to this point. Obviously, it was a busy first day with the Jawan Taylor signing, 4 years and $80 million, 60 of which is guaranteed to come play left tackle. Tershawn Wharton back into the fold on a 1-year, $2 million deal. Charles Omenihu was another big signing, 2 years, $20 million to help replace Frank Clark. Nick Allegretti returns on a 1-year, $2.58 million contract. Drew Tranquill gets that 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. Mike Edwards is in the fold as well. His contract similar to Tranquill's. Derek Nottie is back. Blake Bell, and then I just mentioned the Byron Cowart signing as well. So that's where we sit at this point in free agency. Obviously, the Chiefs have lost several players: Juju, McCole Hardman, Orlando Brown, and many others. Still some guys they could bring back like Jerick McKinnon, but we will see where Kansas City goes from here as we kind of are at the end of the second week of NFL free agency. All right, what has been your favorite signing so far? If you had to say one player, what has been your favorite signing so far? I think the Jawan Taylor one will be the most impactful in either a good or a bad way. Drop a name down below. We'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report.